This week on Nate Knows Nothing, my fake owl is turned into a VIP lounge for pigeons. I bought a stranger a slice of pizza. The new Pope's got Sox pride. HBO Max is pretending like last year didn't happen, and someone accidentally shipped $40 million worth of cocaine with bananas. Plus, national parks are horny now. And TikTok has people eating caviar with fries. Welcome to Nate Knows Nothing, the podcast that's as effective as a fake owl on a balcony. Looks intimidating, does nothing. This week, my anti-bird strategy failed. I bought a strange lady a slice of pizza. The new Pope reignited a baseball turf war. And HBO Max admitted they messed up by pretending Max never happened. Also, bananas came with a surprise $40 million bonus. National parks are being saved by shirtless hikers, and caviar has somehow become the working class snack of the summer. Buckle up, we've got fake owls, real cocaine, and fish eggs with a side of irony. Before we get to the stories of the week here, I gotta tell you about my day, my week even, okay? A few things. First of all, it's been a battle these last couple weeks. I've been fighting with birds. This is my new thing. My new frustration in life is these birds that are seemingly interested in our balcony and building a nest over here, and they've been pooping all over the balcony, and it's quite frustrating. It's hard to keep it clean because, you know, you can't run a hose up the side of the building, right? I guess we could, but that's a lot of work, okay? It's hard to keep this clean, so I'm trying to scare all these birds away, and I'm about ready to just buy a BB gun and work on my aim. I think it'd be kind of fun, but then I'm like, oh, that's kind of mean to the birds, you know? They're just, like, I'm in their habitat, really, right? Sort of, more or less. So I'm like, okay, they can't be right. Also, I was thinking about it, not a very good look to sit on your balcony with a gun, right? Like, even if it's not, like, lethal, I guess it could be, but you know what I mean? If it's not a real gun, how many people do you think would call the police if I sat out there with a BB gun? Probably a bunch, right? There's got to be some law against it. I don't know. Maybe I should try and find out. I don't do well in those situations, though. Although I do think it would be a fun little thing, you know? Isn't that why you buy a place? Can't you see yourself sitting on a porch, sipping coffee, just shooting things? I don't know. So anyway, I did a little research. I'm trying to find a humane way to handle this problem without violence, poison. I'm trying to do this the right way. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with this problem, but a big thing online, they say, is to get a fake owl and put it in the area that's being affected. In this case, just our balcony. I thought, sure, maybe I'll put this owl. And one of our neighbors said she did this, and she claims it worked. At least worked for her, right? And she's on the other side of the building, so I'm like, okay, it's got to be the same birds, right? So maybe this will work. So we buy one of these owls, and we put it out there, and nothing's happening. In fact, the birds are, like, chilling with it. And you're like, what the hell, man? It's like they're taunting us. It's like, hey, we know this is a fake owl. Try harder next time, okay? Like, seriously. And it's so frustrating because I'm like, great, now they're on to us. They know it's a fake. And then I go back online and I'm reading more about it, and they say now you're supposed to move it every couple days, Like this is some sort of weird elf on a shelf situation. Every morning before the birds get up, I got to get out there and move the owl somewhere. And they're like, oh, crap, maybe it is real. I was thinking about it. This is kind of like there was a building in my old neighborhood that would put a mannequin by the door in a police outfit. And it was terrifying. If you walked by it and you weren't expecting it, you thought it was a real person, it would scare the hell out of you. And that's kind of what this is. That's the human version of this, right? Like, yeah, no one's going to break in. Or there was another time I saw a police car, like right where like a speed trap would be, where it drops 20 miles an hour in one block, and they're like waiting to give you a ticket. And I saw a cop car parked there, and every time I drove by it, I was like, wait, that's just a mannequin in a cop car. And you know what? It works. It makes you slow down. That's a fake owl in human form, right? Anyway, so I'll update you on this. I'm sure you're all so curious. I know it's such a boring story, but it is frustrating, man. If you have any tips, let me know. That's really all I want. I need someone to come over here and really show me how to do this. Everything aside from netting off the entire balcony, I don't know what to do. But that guy looks like a psycho, right? The guy with and enclosed porch on the 3rd floor, like, really stands out. Anyway, so that's what we're dealing with this week. Also, I just got back from a show at the Schaumburg Improv, the Chicago Improv, right? It's way out in the suburbs. Fun club, huge club. I'm working with this guy, Derek Cahill. You probably know who he is on Instagram or whatever. He's great. Such a cool guy, very funny. And I'm on my way back home, and there's this little pizza shop about a mile down that I've driven by a million times, right? I've seen it. I know it's there. We've never taken the time to actually try it. But they're one of the few places that does it. They have slices. You can buy just a slice of pizza. And it's like a little expensive if I'm being honest. But for the first time, right, I'm coming home from the show. I'm getting gas, and I'm like a little hungry. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go through a drive-thru. And it's not so much about eating healthy. It was just like, I just don't want to deal with it. It just feels wrong. I'm talking myself out of it. I'm like, nah, man, you shouldn't be eating this late to begin with. So I was doing good, man. I'm talking myself out of it. I'm like, you don't need to eat anything, whatever. And then I look up as I'm pumping gas across the street. I see this pizza shop, and I'm like, oh, what time? If they're open, I'm going to go in and get a slice. If there's a slice. If there's not, I'm just going home. We're going to leave this up to the universe, okay? So they close in an hour, and I'm like, perfect. Across the street, I go in. There's 2 slices of pepperoni left, and that's it. It's one of these where, like, you pick the slice, they put it in the oven for a few minutes, and then you're off and on your way. And I'm like, that's perfect. I get 1 slice. I don't need a whole pizza. That's dangerous at this hour because I'll eat the whole thing. So I realize they're about to close in like 40 minutes, and I'm like, I'm just going to get the last 2 slices. They're just going to throw this away, right? Maybe they'll take it home. I don't know. But I'm like, I don't need them throwing this away. Let me get both those slices, right? So I pay for them, and it's still like, they were like $4 a slice. I got $10 nearly for 2 slices. And I'm just cleaning them out. They were going to throw this away anyway. I was kind of hoping for like a little good Samaritan, like, you know what, just take them both. But they didn't. And this is when I was like, okay, well, if they're not going to do it, I'm still just going to buy the 2, and I'll have 2 slices of pizza. That's perfect, right? That's, in my head, that's 1 serving of pizza, right? 2 slices. And this is me justifying this late night purchase. It is not even that late. It's like a 10:30 or something like that. And as I swipe the card, lady walks in, and we're both looking at the 2 slices in the thing, and she goes, is that all that's left? And the woman working there goes, yeah, that's it. And he just bought them. And I'm like, so, because like this poor lady's like probably in the same boat that I'm in. She's just like, it's late. I'll just go grab a quick slice of pizza. I'll just see what they got left. And she was like on the phone. She was flustered. And it was like one of these things where I'm like, damn it. This lady's clearly having a night, and I'm like, you know what? And without thinking, I just go, she can have 1. That's fine. You just give it to her. And I go, it's already paid for, whatever. Just have the slice. And, it was one of those things. Everybody stopped, and they're all like, what? All right. And I was like, hey, I'm just trying to like be nice. I'm not going to like make you refund me for 1 slice. And then what am I going to do? Because now I got to walk by this lady on the way out the door with 2 slices, and my tub of lard is just eating this pizza by myself in the car. No, I'm not going to let her have that satisfaction of being like, this loser could have just shared the last 2 slices. It was a classic, because they're not going to make any more that late, right? So just perfect timing. And I just go, you know what, lady, you can have 1 of the slices. And she's like, seriously? And it was a very nice, sweet moment. I was in a good mood. I just got paid. I'm like, you know what? Hey, what's a slice of pizza to me? And then I do the whole thing like, hey, look, lady, enjoy the slice. It's on me. And then I go, trust me, I only need 1 slice of pizza. And I kind of like rubbed my gut. And then she walked outside and waited for her pizza. And then the goofiest part is like, we all kind of had this nice moment of like, oh, something nice happened, and because it was just my instinct. And I'm not saying this to brag, by the way. This just goes to show you how chubby I am, is because I'm like, you know what, lady, you're actually, the universe coming in here last minute going, hey man, you don't need 2 slices of pizza at 10:30, okay? Rethink your choices. It's a Thursday night. I took it as a sign of like, hey, you shouldn't be having 2 slices, fatty, okay? Give this lady a slice of pizza. That's your punishment for actually paying for 2 slices, you psycho. For $3.99, learn your lesson. But this is the funniest part. Is like, I had a nice conversation with the employee. Yeah, we moved up here recently, been driving by this place forever, finally decided to stop in. You know, like one of those like good old wholesome Midwestern bull crap conversations. You know what I mean? And the pizza comes out of the oven from after she warmed it up, and the woman working there goes, all right, do you want yours on a paper plate or in a box? And I said, throw it on a plate, lady. I'm going to eat this in the car, and no one's going to know this ever happened. And she puts the other slice in a to-go box, and she hands me both of them. She goes, you'll hand this to the lady outside, right? And I was like, yeah. Like, what do you... Like, first of all, should you do this? Like, it's her slice. Like, it's not mine anymore. Right? I bought it for her. The least she could do is come in and get it herself. And the lady was on the phone still, so she just didn't realize this was happening. So, in fairness, in case, you know, I'm sure she's a listener. In case she hears this, this is not a reflection on her behavior at all. She was just on the phone chatting, and then she turns around, and I had to walk over and hand it to this lady. And she was nice. She said thank you, but it was weird. I'm like, hey, lady, go get your pizza. Okay, I bought it for you. Look at me ruining a sweet moment. So anyway, if that in a weird way inspires you to do something nice for someone, do it. Don't go out of your way, though. I hate that. Well, I mean, do it. I guess go out of your way if you want to, but at the same time, like, you know, wait for it to strike. It's fun when that happens. Anyway, let's get to the real meat of the episode, the reason you're all here listening. Let's talk about the Pope. First of all, is anyone getting tired of his brothers yet? I was talking about this recently with someone, and these guys are all over the news. I've heard more from their brothers than I have the Pope himself. They really they can't get enough of it. It's so funny. The news can't either. And I don't know if this is just because I live in Chicago and it's the biggest story to happen all week, and it's a nice distraction, I guess, but I'm sick of it. I'm a little over it. I gotta be, yes, I get it. He's tried Jardinier, okay? Finally a Pope who's drank Malort. Yes, I know. We did all the jokes. Can we get back to the real news, you know? But let's talk about the Vatican's newest Southsider. I thought this was fun. And no, I'm not talking about a mob movie, okay? This is a Chicago-born Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was elected as Pope Leo the 14th, becoming the first American Pope and the first from the Midwest. Immediately after his election, both the Chicago Cubs and White Sox tried to claim him as a fan, but his brother quickly shut down the speculation in a TV interview, confirming Leo XIV was never ever a Cubs fan. And that's a quote. This crosstown rivalry is funny, though, because, you know, I get it. I get it. It's fun. It's a ha-ha. It's been like this forever, but, you know, it's okay, cool. You like a different team. Good for you. You know, say the city's big enough for two teams, you know, and also the White Sox suck, okay? Like, they just do. And although their record since the Pope's been elected has been pretty good, actually. But if there was ever a franchise in baseball that needed Jesus, it's the White Sox, okay? If there's anyone that knows anything about prayer, it's a White Sox fan, okay? So to think that the Cubs even, maybe, I guess, for his entire life growing up, maybe it was the same way, you know? So it's been officially confirmed, right? This guy's a White Sox fan. The White Sox celebrated by posting a sign at Guaranteed Rate Field that read, "Hey, Chicago, he's a Sox fan." The Cubs tried the same stunt at Wrigley, only to be publicly corrected by his brother. Even with a Vatican election, we still managed to turn it into a crosstown rivalry. The Pope joins a rare club of spiritual leaders with diehard team loyalty, and maybe, just maybe, divine intervention is on deck for the South Side. But let's be honest, the story's already gotten old. Leave it to America to take one quirky papal fact and turn it into a full-blown merch campaign. And honestly, having an American Pope, it's so annoying. I kind of liked it before. It felt better having a Pope that had nothing to do with the United States. And no one wants to admit that the guy, I mean, he's from Chicago. He's from Dalton, though. It's a south suburb of the city, okay? There's nothing more Chicago than being like, yeah, I'm from Chicago, but I'm really from Naperville. All right, Dalton and Naperville are nothing alike, nor near each other, but you get the point. Also, the best part is they found footage of him at one of the playoff games when the White Sox won the World Series in 2005. Someone actually found footage of him in the crowd. Insane. How many times have you been on TV during a baseball game? And he looked completely normal. He looked like a normal dude enjoying the game. And obviously he was well into his religious career at that point, so he had his act together. However, any footage of me coming out from some sort of baseball game experience, and it's national news, global news even, I'm going to be wasted, okay? So not only is the Pope from Chicago, and that being kind of a cool little miracle for the locals, but the other miracle is that he wasn't just vomiting on the third baseline, you know what I mean? Anyway, so let's keep it moving here. Max is doing what every indecisive person has done at least once, changing their name back and pretending nothing happened. Warner Bros. Discovery has announced that its streaming service Max is officially being reverted back to HBO Max. This move comes just 1 year after the service rebranded from HBO Max to simply Max, a decision that baffled consumers and critics alike. The original intent was to unify content from HBO Discovery and other Warner-owned properties under a single brand name, but in practice, the name Max had all the identity of an empty password field. It was super annoying when they did that. And it's like one of those things where I don't care, man. Call it whatever you want. I'm logged into someone else's account anyway. But the fact that they keep changing it is insane to me. It's like, just pick a name, man. Also, why would you remove the only thing that indicates anything cool? HBO. You know what I mean? Home box office. It was always kind of this thing where you're like we never had it growing up, and now I can just download it on an app and log into someone else's account, and I have access to arguably some of the greatest TV shows ever made. And why would you take a HBO off of that? It was always baffling to me. And I remember when all this happened to begin with, everyone was like, what a dumb idea. Just like, what a waste of time, money, meetings. All this work goes into it just to switch it back. Well, viewers never fully adjusted. Branding experts panned the rebrand, and even loyal HBO subscribers had trouble finding content they once knew by name. After months of confusion, meme-worthy marketing missteps, and declining brand equity, Warner Bros. Discovery is officially putting the HBO name back front and center, a rare corporate walk of shame. This is just the latest twist in a long-running saga of name changes. HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Max, Max, and now HBO Max again. At this point, the app needs a therapist. Moving on. This one's bananas, literally. Customs officials in Oslo, Norway recently discovered over 800 kilograms of cocaine worth an estimated $40 million hidden inside of boxes of bananas. The shipment came from Ecuador and was delivered to Bama, one of Norway's largest fruit distributors. Workers were stunned when they found the bricks of cocaine mixed in with the crates. This is one of those insane, it really kind of opens your eyes to how insane the drug trafficking trade is, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man. And they got to smuggle them in somehow. But you think and I know it's a different country, but you would think hey, if just once I could find a bunch of bananas and make $40 million, wouldn't that be nice? This is better than winning the lottery. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe so. You're not paying taxes, but it's hard to sell. You got to know at least 40 million people, right? I don't know what I'd do if I found that much. If I just stumbled upon that many bricks of cocaine, I'd like to think I would have the wherewithal to do the right thing and call the police and make sure this is not associated with me at all. But the other part of me is maybe I could sell it and make some money. Because isn't that kind of what you want? Don't you want to make a little money off of that? I mean, $40 million falling into your lap, essentially. You just got to do a lot of work. This is the second time in recent years that drugs have been found in fruit shipments in Norway. Norwegian police say it appears to be a classic case of smugglers mistakenly routing a ship to the wrong location. Bama immediately contacted authorities and cooperated fully, emphasizing they had no idea what was in the boxes beyond the fruit. Of course not. No. We've never seen this before in our life. I don't even know what it is. It just doesn't look like bananas. Don't look at me. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do this. I feel like in another country like that, I'd be terrified. That'd be the most terrifying place to do it, right? To find all this stuff, because you're like, okay, great. I mean, I could somehow ship this out, but this is the second time in recent years that drugs have been found in fruit shipments in Norway, making bananas the country's newest, most suspicious produce. And look, I'm not saying I want to be a drug dealer, but just once in my life, I would like to accidentally find $40 million. Just open up a box and be like, that's more than potassium. If this story has taught me anything, it's that I should be buying bananas way more often than I am already. Okay, moving on now. Nature's calling, and apparently it wants to be hot online. National parks are getting a social media glow-up thanks to a viral TikTok trend that mixes majestic park footage with thirst trap content. Shirtless hikers, yoga poses on cliffs, slow-mo walks through the wildflower fields, and all set to dreamy music. The campaign is part satire and part clever marketing, aiming to boost Gen Z interest in public lands. Isn't it funny how we got to do this now? You know, all these public lands like this, all these national parks and stuff we should all just, I mean, some of them are unbelievable. And before they all get sold off to the highest bidder, how do we get people to come in? I don't know, a viral TikTok. It's funny that that's what it takes. Because, I mean, you can get the same amount of information from a book. If you're a prospective visitor of these national parks, you can just look up a picture. I mean, you could be like, what are the coolest national parks to visit? Instead, I got to wait for my favorite influencer to do some weird dance on the property. One park advocate used adult entertainer Jonathan Cain's photos without his knowledge, but he later gave his support to the movement. Yes, Jonathan Cain, famous adult entertainer, aka porn star. The videos are racking up millions of views and, surprisingly, driving actual engagement with park websites and trail maps. Whether it's ironic or sincere, the thirst trap aesthetic is giving conservation efforts a much-needed algorithm bump. This is insane. This is where we're at now. You know, we got to do this just to gain interest in the parks. We need a famous porn star to advocate for it. What a weird situation, you know. Like, I'm gonna do the same thing. I wonder if all these people are available. Maybe I can get some people to come out to my shows if I just invite some of these people. Give me this. Let's invite Jonathan Cain to my show, and we'll use one of his pictures as like hey, come out to this comedy show. Let's see if it really works. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, the national parks are doing just fine. Let's see if we can sell some tickets to a show. All right, and finally, Caviar is no longer just for Bond villains and yacht people. Thanks to TikTok, Caviar is having a moment, not as fine dining, but as casual snacking. Influencers are now pairing it with potato chips, tater tots, and even McDonald's fries. The idea is to take something once considered ultra elite and turn it into a cheeky, ironic indulgence. Some grocery stores have seen a 300% increase in affordable caviar sales in just the past few months. And look, I've never tried caviar, but I probably never will, and I don't understand it. It's like if tapioca and regret had a baby. Something about salty fish eggs on a cracker just feels like a dare people pretended to like. And now it costs $80. I never understood caviar. But it's about time we made it cheap. Maybe now that it's cheap, I'll try it. Maybe now that people are putting it on like McDonald's fries and whatnot. Maybe now's the time to try it. That's it for this week's episode. We talked about the Pope repping the White Sox, a $40 million mistake in a banana box, and how HBO Max is back like nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, Caviar's been demoted to TikTok snack status, and national parks are pairing with thirst traps. And I still have a fake owl being used as a hangout spot by city birds. Also, I bought some lady a slice of pizza. If you want more weirdness delivered straight to you, sign up for my email list at natecomedy.com. You can also follow me on all social media at natecomedy. Send me some weird news, good memes, or tips on how to evict pigeons politely. Thanks for listening to Nate Knows Nothing. Stay weird, stay wonderful.